Hi, this is David from Picks by Nisha. Book sale season's been going for a couple of months now, but the good ones have only started coming up recently. We finally got to go to one where we got a good haul. I'm not going to show you everything we got, but I'll show you some of the good stuff. So let's start taking a look. Okay, so this was a big sale. It was an AAUW sale, not a Friends of the Library sale. Those tend to be quite large. This one advertised 100,000 books, which is great. The downside of that is lots of people showed up. We were number 50 and 51 in line. There were more people behind us than there were in front of us, probably 120 to 150 people total. So it was, even though there were a lot of books there, it was still kind of crowded. And by the time we got in, a lot of the best spots had already been taken. So we went where we could. Ended up starting out in religion and got a few books there. So let's start looking at them. I'll be showing you this book using Scoutly, which is the scouting program that I use when I'm outsourcing books. I have a handy dandy Bluetooth scanner. Lets me scan the barcodes. It'll show up on the phone and show me the prices it's selling for on Amazon. So let's get started with that. First book, Prayers in Irish. Definitely not your normal type of book. Halfway decent sales. Not a great sales rate. Not good enough for FBA. Definitely keep this at home. Ship it myself. Going for about $16. Another thing about this sale is they charge different prices for every book. This was $2. So it's borderline, but it was worth getting, I think. Still in the religious section. This is like some sort of astrology type thing. I'll be honest, I don't know why I grabbed this because now it's telling me I shouldn't get it. Those are not very good numbers for either FBA or at home. Bright side, it was only $1. So I can fulfill this myself and make my money back, but I probably shouldn't have gotten this one. Now that's the sound I like to hear. Another astrology book, not in the best of condition, only $2. But I can send this into FBA and sell it for current price is going to $26. I may go a little bit lower than that just because of the condition, but it's a fast seller. That's going to be great. On to the next book. I think this was still in the religious section. It may have been somewhere else that I picked it up. I'm not sure. Book on yoga. Nisha was there too, so it's possible she picked this one up. Not worth a whole lot, but it's a real fast seller. $3. We can get $16 for it on FBA. So we'll make a couple of dollars profit. If it wasn't a fast seller, that would not be worth it. Now, one thing about this sale, as you've seen, a couple of books are already $3. A lot of the books were priced way too high. Books that would scan for $11 or $12, they had priced for $3, $4, even $5. I can't show you those because I didn't buy any of those. But then we get ones like this. $2. Astrology. And this one's going for $50. I don't even have to send it into FBA to get $50 for it. So that's the type of deal I like. Moving on, diet book. Slow seller. Probably can sell it within the next year or two, but it's going for $30. An important thing to keep in mind with books, some of these more obscure, less widely sold books, be sure to look at not only the listing price, but look at the buy box price. If the listing price is $30, but there was no buy box, that would tell me that Amazon doesn't think it really sells for $30. Maybe the last one sold for $5.99. The fact that it's $30 in the buy box tells me it really does sell for, at least in that range. I could also look it up on Keepa or something like that, except that requires two things I didn't have. First was an internet connection. Second was time. At a book sale like this, you don't want to spend 3 minutes deciding if you want to buy a book, especially when it's only $2, even if it's signed. Don't know who that's signed to. So, but it is signed by the author, so that's good. It doesn't really get a premium, but it doesn't hurt either. So, nice little book. It'll be on my shelf for a while, but eventually I'll get some good money out of it. Moving on, I think Nisha grabbed this one. Book on sailboats. And again, good seller. Looks like we can get $25 to $30 on this, FBA or at home. So I'll keep it at home. I'll fulfill it myself. There's no sense in paying Amazon extra if I'm not going to get any extra money out of it. And let's see what we paid on this one. $4. A little pricey, but we can sell it for $25 with a sales rank like that of 326,000, or traditionally about 800,000. We'll be able to sell that within the next year. Make some good money on it. Nisha picked up a couple of Bibles, really nice leather-bound Bibles, King James Version, Catholic Bible. Those tend to do really well. I'll mention with Bibles, that is probably the one category of books that is the most messed up on Amazon's catalog. So be very careful if you're listing these on Amazon. If you don't have an ISBN, you're probably better off, if you can't be sure it's an exact match, probably better off listing them on eBay. We usually sell Bibles like this on eBay, not on Amazon, just for that very reason. And they do very well, so well worth getting. All right, so before I go on, I'll explain a little bit about what we're seeing on Scoutly for those that are not familiar with the program. When I scan the book, it'll come up here. This shows me the sales rank. This is the current sales rank, 326,000. The average sales rank over the last 6 months is 792,000. That's close enough to not really worry too much about it. Sometimes you might see 320,000 here, 10 million here. That means that it's really a slow-selling book. Don't be fooled by the lower number. It just happened to have sold a copy right before we downloaded the database. This first column shows you the prices of offers for merchant fulfilled used books. Second column is used books that are available through FBA, new books through FBA, and new books that are merchant fulfilled. Obviously, since I'm a used bookseller, these prices don't mean a whole lot to me, except that I want to make sure that the used price that I'm looking at is lower than the new price, because people are not going to buy a used book for $50 when they can buy it new for $20. Next is the buy box. As I mentioned earlier, this is good to see a number here because that tells you that it's really selling for that price. That's the main stuff to look at. The number of offers can be useful. This one has got 28 offers. So that's a fair number, but it's not overwhelming. Some popular books you may see 500 offers. You know that you're not going to be able to compete on price there. Somebody's going to always be undercutting you. On the flip side, you may see one offer. You know you're going to have a good shot at selling it then. So let's get on and look at a couple more books. At one point in the sale, I ran into someone that I've seen at book sales many times before, often chatted with, but I hadn't seen him since the pandemic. So we took a little bit of a breather from the hardcore scanning to catch up a little bit. Ended up just kind of meandering over towards the large print books and just sort of scanned those while I was talking. A lot of times they're not that valuable. But this one, I found a few that are good. Like typical, most of them are going to be ex-library. That's where most of your large print books come from. But I can get $15 for this. If I send it into FBA, I could get more, but the sales rank is not good enough. I'm not going to send in a book to FBA with a sales rank of 3 million because it's probably not going to sell in a year, or else it's going to be very price competitive against the one person that's there, and I'm going to end up having to pay to get the book back. So I'll just keep this one at home, fill it myself, maybe get 15. Might see if that price will go up a little bit. Other large print books, again, ex-library. Looks like I can get about $22 for that one. Jane Castle, I never heard of her, I have to admit. Here, okay, I'm not going to type in an ISBN. I'm not sure what that one. Must have gotten something good on that, or maybe I just picked it up because there were several Jane Castle books. Robin Carr, again, somebody I'm not familiar with. I don't do a lot of fiction usually, so there's a lot of these popular authors I don't know. But this is going for $40. And $3 for $40, I'll get it, even though it's going to take a little while to sell. That is one thing about large print books. You're not going to sell them fast usually. Definitely long tail. This one, this looks like this was a mistake. Frankly, if it's $7, I shouldn't have bought it. But sometimes that happens. I have updated the database since this book sale because we went to another book sale after this one. So it's possible that when we bought it, or when I scanned it rather at the book sale, the price was higher. That happens sometimes. Nothing you can do about it. The last large print, this one went for about 25 FBA, and unlike the other ones, this one sells fast enough to send it into FBA, so that'll be a good buy. A few other books. Memoir, On the Rails. Railroad Transform My Life. That actually sounds like it might be kind of interesting. I might have to read this one before I sell it. Long tail, 4 million, so it sells a copy a year, 1 or 2 copies a year for $2, but it's going for $88. That's a great find. Scuba diving. This was some stuff Nisha found. Nice, but only $1. So if we can get $15 for it, $16, merchant fulfilled, great deal. More scuba. Again, fast seller, $15. I had to pay $3 for this one. That's not bad though. We can turn it over really quick. Nisha found some archery books. That's something I've never looked for before. I found scuba. I've never found archery before. I've never even looked at it. I'm not sure how these did. This one is, well, it's only $1. So the fact that we can sell it for 10 or 11, that's okay. Not a great deal, but it's good. Here, FBA is $20, cost $1. I'll send this into FBA because that's worth doing that. That'll be good. The Medieval Archer, again, have to go to FBA to get the good price on it. It's going for $25. We paid $2. Can deal with that. This one looks like it was an ex-library. Oh yeah, definitely ex-library. That's not as big of a negative as people think it is. You just have to mention that it is ex-library. On Amazon, you don't want to grade that any higher than good. This was, frankly, this was a mistake probably. Spend $2 on a book that FBA is only going to get $10 for it. Usually $10, I don't even bother sending them into FBA. It's not worth it. Art book. Nisha picked this one up. $2. Oh, this is from an exhibit. This is not a regular book. This is an exhibit catalog. So Nisha picked this up probably to sell it on eBay because we do pretty well on gallery and exhibit catalogs. So that's something she'll get to deal with. I don't have to worry about it. Usually there's not an ISBN. So I don't have the knowledge to know what's good necessarily. She's the art major. Chassis engineering, car books, especially when you start dealing with performance cars, those are going to be really good a lot of times. And this one looks like it's going for a little over $20 FBA. $17 merchant fulfilled. I may just keep that one here just so that I'm not paying that extra for FBA because it sort of balances out. Only a couple of bucks, so that was a good deal. And then Nisha found this one. Karate. We found a couple of karate books in the past that have been really nice. And this one I'm going to have to key in manually to show you. But I can do that real quick. To do that on Scoutly, you do that, and then you can key in the numbers. This is 4255 960 437. Search for it. And yes, you're seeing that right. $500 for the buy box. So before I started the video, I did a little bit of research on this book, and when you see that kind of a price at a book sale, you always wonder, well, is that real or is that somebody just dreaming? And I'll be honest, most of the time it's somebody dreaming. But for $2, you got to take a chance on it. So on this book, I did do a little bit of research before I started shooting the video. I think $500 is a little high based on the prices that it's going for on other websites. I think Biblio and A-Books both had copies, but I'm still going to list it for over $300. So that's a score. Overall, this sale, we spent $218. We got 85 books, and it was about 180 miles of driving. So it was kind of borderline. It was not a bad sale, but it wasn't a great sale unless something like this comes through and sells really well. So we'll just have to see. You're interested in using Scoutly yourself, which I highly recommend it. Works great if you're using it with a barcode scanner, such as the Opticon. Check out the links in the description below. I've got a link to Scoutly that not only will get you a 1-month free trial, if you decide you want to use it, it gets you, I believe it's $15 off your 3rd month. I also have links to buying where you can buy this scanner on Amazon. It hooks in with any cell phone, any smartphone, at least. And you don't even have to have a fancy phone. I paid $20 for my cell phone. So it's not a high-end phone, and it works great for this. And when I'm at a sale, what I do, got a piece of Velcro on the back of the phone, a piece of Velcro on the scanner, put them together, and it fits in the palm of my hand. This has a different method. She has a holder to put the phone on her arm and holds the scanner. Additionally, you can set up alerts where it will make a sound when you want to buy a book. And for that, I recommend having Bluetooth headphones. I have a link to the ones that I use. You don't want to use ones with a cord because you're going to get tangled in the cord, and you don't want to do it without the headphones because you're just going to annoy everybody around you. So check out the links below and give Scoutly a try, and good sourcing. Thanks for watching. Bye.